So welcome back. This is the Uninvited Chef. Next thing I'm going to make is tuna fish salad. The thing about tuna fish, or even any fish, is people have a tendency they don't like the smell of it. Well, there's a way around that. What I do with shrimp or regular fish is I'll rinse it off with scalding hot water in my sink just to get that residue off of it. And then that residue comes off, that smell actually is, most of it's gone. You don't even smell it anymore. So with canned tuna fish and chicken of the sea, get it from the local store. Make sure you recycle all the cans. Rinse them off first, put them in your recycle. I go ahead and I strain it. Just like this. I rinse it off with water. Doesn't have to be hot water. And I rinse it off, and it really does take the fishy smell off of this. So I'm gonna make, and I compress this down a little bit to get as much of the water out as possible. Now that last show that I made, I used what they call uncooked roti chapati. You can buy these at Costco, or you can buy them at the local store. It tells you to use this specific pan and cook them in. You don't have to. Just get a skillet. Put it on medium heat. Don't put it on high. Okay? One of the other items that I like to use is I have a Breville toaster oven. A toaster oven can go up to 500 degrees and it can broil. This particular Breville model is, to me, is the best. I've had it for over 5 years. It hasn't broke down not once. I use it for small items. I use it for entertainment. I cook a turkey in there. It's big enough and it heats up so fast in your regular oven. It'll save you so much time. That's the reason why I want to bring up a toaster oven. If you want to do your due diligence, find your own one. I'm just telling you, I think the Breville's the best one. So, tuna fish, all nice and neat. I'm gonna put some pepper. You notice I don't have a recipe. I don't use a recipe for cooking. You have to remember, you can always add, but you cannot take away. So if you put too much salt in an item, guess what? You can't take it away. It's not gonna happen. Never, in a million years. The onions that I had chopped up earlier, see how finely diced they are? I add those into there. One thing I didn't chop up, I have organic celery. You split it down the middle. Split it down the middle again to make it smaller. And this is what I'm telling you about. I'm using a boning knife. I don't have to use a cook's knife or a chef's knife. And all I do is these are a little easier to handle. Maybe you got smaller hands or bigger hands. I just use what I think is best. If it calls for a screwdriver, then use a screwdriver. If it calls for a flathead screwdriver, sometimes you can use a Phillips screwdriver, however, but make sure it's safe. As you can see, look how small these pieces are. This is how you want it in that tuna salad. I already used the Breville toaster and toasted 3 pieces of bread, and I used organic bread. And I'll be honest with you, the best white bread that I know out there on the market is Dave's white bread done right. The oils that I use is I either use avocado oil or olive oil because that's the most healthiest. If I drink kombucha, then I also take probiotics too. I'm thirsty. So, we'll put the celery in there. You notice I don't have to make it any smaller than what it is. If you want it smaller, use a blender that has a food chopper in it and chop the food down to the smallest size that you possibly can. so then you can make a really good meatloaf. I like using Miracle Whip dressing for this because it has a vinegar taste to it, and it does have eggs and stuff in it. None of the dressings are really the healthiest, okay? Although this one does have canola oil in it, okay? So I'm going to, as you see, I'm not measuring the amounts that I'm using. Why? You don't need to. If you know what the consistency that you're going to use as a spread, because you're going to spread this on bread. If you spread it on regular white bread and it's not toasted, that's fine as long as you eat it right away. If there's a lot of liquid in this tuna, you'll notice it. And the condensation, when it sits in the refrigerator after this, will have a little water that will seep out from this product. So if you can, try to use it all in one time, if you possibly can. Now, you can take this, it's about done, see? Just like that. You can use this on toast, you can use this on crackers, you can use it on Napa bread, the little small ones that they sell. How much of this did I use? I probably used half a cup at the most. Half a cup at the most. Now, if you want, you could take a little bit of green onion too. When I was using the chopsticks earlier, the eggs will form up on the top of this chopsticks. Make sure you clean them really good, because if you don't, dishwasher might not clean them. And somebody else in the house might see that and say, hey, these aren't clean. They might not be happy about it. Take a little bit of that green onion. Normally I put green onion on the top of everything. I use a lot of baby spinach for items. Baby spinach, you can just toss in anything right when it's done, because it still continues to cook. Spinach doesn't take much to cook because it's all it's going to do is shrivel. But it's some of the best stuff for you. If you get that kale mix that they sell in the local stores, it has 3 different kind of green vegetables that you can use. But try to stay away from vegetable oil. I know vegetable oil makes stuff taste so good because I lived and worked in China for 2 years and I know what it's like. But if you want to eat healthy, you have to do it that way. So I'm going to take the same spatula and I'm going to spread it on here. The one thing to remember, there's a lot of things you can do to this if you want. Even if you want to put peanut butter on this, that you can. Bananas, whatever. Some people go ahead and just put cheese on it. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to lay another piece right here. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put another layer on it. If you notice, that first layer was not real super thick. It was a little on the thin side. That's the reason why I do it. Because when you're making something, there's something that can taste so good, but if you eat so much of it, you get full of it real fast. I know. I ate dumplings over in China, and I was pretty much done with dumplings for life because I felt I just had enough. So, from this, you can do many different things. You can cut it in fourths, you can cut it in halves, you can cut it in quarters. If you want it, you can use it to use a toothpick. You can put anything else on top of it to decorate it. But as you see, it's like it's a triple decker. In this case, I'm just going to cut it in half, and here we go. And it's pretty healthy. This is one of the best breads that you can have.